Happy after Mother's Day. Yesterday was a challenge, man. To say the least. I ended up getting into it with my grandmother, my mom's mom. Me and her never really had a good relationship, like even as far as back as me being a kid. We never had a good relationship, and man, it was hard. Anyway, we ended up getting into it, and I left before it could get any worse. It was already bad. And I'm gonna say this, on this walk with Christ, on this walk where you are, reading your Bible, you're going to church, you're building your relationship with God, you're doing all of the things. There are going to be times where you're tested, okay? God would not tempt you, but he will test you. Look it up, his Bible. And there are going to be times to test it to see if you have really, overcome some things. And the last few times that I've been tested to a point of coming out of character, I didn't do so well. And this time could have been better, but I see the growth. And I see the growth. I see the growth to where I am now versus where I was then. And I can say that I'm proud of myself. And again, could it have been better? Yes, it could have been 100% better. I take full responsibility for the way I reacted, and what I should have just done was just completely walk away. Wish you well and walk away. But what I can't stand is for family members to sweep stuff under the rug and allow people to get away with nonsense. It just gets to a point where people have to take accountability for the stuff that they do. Like, I don't like a person who can tell everybody, what they do wrong and pick at them. And then whenever the mirror is turned back on them, now they are a victim and now everybody's lying. Not everybody's not lying on who you are and the type of person that you are. Especially when you're rude and you're nasty and you're a type of person that say, I'm just blunt, I'm just real. No, you're just rude and you're just disrespectful, and people do not have to sit and take your disrespect consistently. I don't know why you feel that way, but it just got to that point. And like I said, I'm getting to a point in my life where I will not be silenced. I deserve to be able to tell my truth no matter who's around, no matter who it offends. Especially if you were a part of that truth, if you were the villain in that story, what you want me to do? I didn't tell you to act a certain way. I didn't tell you to treat me a certain way. I didn't tell you to be a certain way. That is a choice that you made, and you don't want to sit in that, which is fine. You are not ready to sit in that, but I am ready to heal and move on from it. So I should be able to speak my truth and tell what my truth is without you being so offended at what my truth is. If I'm not tripping, why you tripping? Like, at this point, it's just getting to that point, and I am in a phase of healing. I am in a phase of trusting God to get me there. I am in a phase of growing, and I want to be spiritually mature. And some people cannot be that way. And it's unfortunate because in a space where full transparency, my family has a generational curse of mother-daughter relationships being trash, okay, turning into trash. And I don't want that for me and my daughter. I don't want that for me and any of my kids. I want to be able to have a good, healthy relationship with all of my children. I want to be able to raise them right, but I also want to make sure that when they do get to adulthood, they don't have to heal from certain traumas that I cause. And if they do, they should be able to come to me, speak their piece, me receive it, whether I agree or not, and me be able to apologize and allow them to heal the way that they need to heal. And I think a lot of people miss that. A lot of people miss that. And for me, I won't miss that mark. I won't miss that mark. And unfortunately, a lot of people are going to be triggered by my truth. And that's just what it is. But do better. This is the opportunity to be able to say, hey, you know what? Even if you don't remember, because what you're not going to do is discredit my truth, because a lot of people will do that. But if you don't remember, just simply say, I don't remember that happening, but if it did, or if I offended you in any way, I apologize, or don't say nothing at all. I'm cool with you not saying anything at all, but don't call me a liar and don't discredit my feelings. Don't try to diminish my character because you don't want to sit in the truth and you don't want to take accountability for any part that you played in it. And people will do that, and it baffles me how people just, at their big age, can't get to that point. So, Mother's Day was a fluke. Me and my mother's relationship is already strained for so many different reasons. And of course, she's not going to, try to acknowledge it. She's one of those, it happened, so let me give time. Let me put time and space in between it. Come back, still not speak on it, sweep it under the rug, and then pick up where we left off on the relationship. And I'm not doing that anymore with nobody. If we cannot have an adult conversation, a mature conversation, have a come to Jesus moment, pray about it if we need to type of thing, then we will not be able to move on to a certain point. Will I respect you? Yes. Do I still love you? Absolutely, because I have to. That's just where I am. I love any and everybody, because that's what God expects out of me. I love you regardless of what has happened. I don't wish you any ill will, and I will never disrespect you. I'm not going to disrespect you, but just know I placed a boundary there that I will not cross. I placed a boundary there that I will not put up with stuff that I've already put up in my life already. I've been there, done that. It doesn't work for me. And to prevent me from going back to what God has already delivered me from, it's just gonna have to be that. Because I refuse to go backwards. I've come way too far. I've come too far. I've come too far. I've come too far. I've come too far in my walk. I've come too far in life. I've come too far as a woman. I've come too far as a mother to allow people to get to a point where they feel it's okay to be disrespectful to me. Get to a point where they feel they can just, treat me any kind of way. And I just say, okay, whatever, that's still your mom. That's still your cousin. That's still your family. And that's cool, fine and dandy. I don't have to, I don't have to deal with you to still respect you. Or if you come to me and you need help and God told me to help you type of situation. But I will not be anyone's mat to walk all over. I will not be anyone's charity case to make me feel away. I will not be anyone's lie. I just will no longer be those things that I've been in the past. And, and it's unfortunate because at some point you do have to walk away from certain people, especially if it gets to a point where I don't want to say, I don't know how to really say what I'm trying to say, because everybody's in a different space in their walk with God. And some people downright just don't want to believe and don't want to live, their life according to what God and the Bible says. And that's fine, because that's your own journey to have. But at some point I do have to walk away because some conversations do not serve me. And I ask God specifically to set me apart. So with that, some conversations is not going to be the same. Some conversations I'm going to have to walk away from and hang up on. Some places and spaces I'm not going to be able to be because I'm at a different point in my journey, spiritually, emotionally, maturely, if that's even a thing. But I'm just there. And it really, 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 really hurt you know, it hurt because it's just like, we can literally sit here and have an adult conversation, agree to disagree, and move on. But you had to get disrespectful. You had to curse at me. You had to call me names. You had to try to discredit me. You had to throw salt on my character. You had to make yourself feel better. And that is like, so I had to, you know, pray on that thing. I cried about it. I prayed about it because it hurt more than anything. And I know that I'm growing because it used to be I cuss you out bad. And I might even put my hands on you. I might throw something at you. I might get violent. It might go there. And now it's like, I'm not there no more. And the only reason why I got loud and argumentative is because when you're triggered, right? You're triggered. And instead of acknowledging it and having an adult conversation about it, you get loud and you start cursing and you start being disrespectful. And it's like, hey, I was speaking. You know, don't keep trying to cut me off because you don't want to hear what I have to say. Like, there is a respect level. Don't keep cutting me off. And again, I should have just walked away because obviously you're not mature enough spiritually, mentally, and just all together, 100% just not mature enough to have this conversation because, again, you are the type of person that will, you know, tell everybody what they need to do, tell everybody about themselves, tell everybody what, you know, who and what they are, and talk about everybody and try to tell people what they need to do in their life. But when the mirror's back on you, baby, it's a problem. You know, and one of the things that I had to point out was, you know, this family is broken. Like, this family is broken, and you are a part of the root cause of why this family is broken, and you don't want to have that conversation. And people have to get to a point where you cannot continue to sweep things under the rug. Let's have the conversation maturely and openly, and respects everybody's outlook and respect everyone's feelings. And respect everyone's perspective, come to a common ground and fix the problem. Feelings are going to be hurt because some people are going to have to sit in the mess that they cause. If I hurt you, I would have to sit in that because it's embarrassing. It is. It's embarrassing to know that maybe you are the cause why somebody, you know, didn't, you know, move forward in a way, or, you know, it caused their whole their brain restructured, the way they think about themselves, their depression, their whatever. You may be the cause. And instead of acknowledging that and apologizing and moving on and realizing, maybe I need to fix something within myself, you discredit them. Like, I don't get it. To me, I don't get that. But, you know, it's a part of the journey and it's a part of my story. And I won't be ashamed for anything that it is that I go through, no matter what it is, because I've been in a space in life where I was ashamed of stuff, and I can't be that way. I'm growing in Christ. So, you know, yeah, that was the basis of, I didn't get to fully enjoy my Mother's Day, and that's cool. You know, it is what it is. You know, I'm a mother 24/7, 365. So Mother's Day is just one day out of the year anyway. So it was nothing. You know, I can always take myself out to dinner. I can always cook me a Mother's Day meal just because, you know, me and my kids can always have a good time. So it doesn't bother me, but it was sad that the moment was taken away from, because my children were the only children there, you know. So the experience to be able to be around family and have a good time without drama was taken away from them. And part of it is my fault because, again, I should have walked away. But, you know, it is what it is. You live to learn and learn to live. So I'm not blaming anybody, you know. But that's what happens when you know, try to tell your truth. You know, one thing turned into another and a blow up because people can't take the hit, and that's cool. It is what it is. So yeah, that's what it is. I'm currently waiting on my kids to get off of the bus so that I can go pick my other children up. And then we're heading home. I took off today because I had so much. This weekend was just so heavy. You know, I went to my aunt's funeral on Saturday because she passed away. I went to church. I woke up yesterday. I wasn't feeling my best. Went to church, was feeling amazing. Then that happened. And then it was just like, ooh, I'm kind of tired. I'm kind of needing to just take the day to decompress, be by myself, sit in silence, and just reflect so that, again, I could, grow. And because I do customer service, I can't just, get on the phone with people in this state of mind, because calls would have went left today. And I love my job and I would like to keep my job. So that's that. Hair update. I washed my hair and I just don't like how dry it looks. I moisturized it. I put some oil on it and I just don't like how dry it looks. So I'm between my retwists. I don't know if I'm really going to actually wash my hair. It was itching though, and I needed to, and it felt so good, and it feel better. But I don't like the way it looks so dry and brittle. So I'm going to have to try to come up with a regimen or something. I do use spray in the bottle with oil and moisturizer and conditioner and all that stuff. I do that. And it works, but it works like temporarily. So I'm really, it's questionable. It's questionable. However, yeah. Oh, I restarted my fast because I broke it yesterday, which I'm mad because I shouldn't even have broke my fast yesterday if I didn't even get to enjoy my meal. So that's whatever. But I started it over. I'm at 20 hours so far. I want to try to go 10 days. I think I'm going to go longer though. I think I'm going to just go as long as I can go, to the point where it's like, okay, type of thing. But I am currently fasting. Temptation has been real because I really did want to stop on the side of the road and get me a taco from the taco food truck. But I know that's part of my emotions too, because I'm so frustrated. It's so much going on. A part of that is definitely wanting to kind of eat my emotions, which is another thing that I'm kind of learning. Like, I'm kind of learning that, I was an emotional eater sometimes, probably not all the time, but I definitely, if I feel some type of way, give me a 10-piece fried heart. I'm probably not gonna eat the whole 10-piece, especially if I got sides with it. But give me a taco, give me a nacho, give me a 10-piece and a dessert, and I'm gonna feel better. I'm gonna feel better after it's said and done. But yeah, skincare routine. I've been missing a couple days and a couple nights, so, but nonetheless, it's evening out. It's starting to even out. It's not as bad. So that is working. But that's just a few little pieces of updates and stuff. I have a lot of footage that I need to go through and kind of edit and upload, because I said I was going to start uploading more, and I am. It's just been so much going on, but I know I can't use that as an excuse either, because if I'm saying I'm going to upload more and be more intentional, then why am I not being more intentional? Make it make sense. So yeah, I am start uploading some things, get my life together, start doing better, and just sit in it. And I gotta finish some assignments because the last day of school is literally in 2 days, and then I'm out for a week, and then I got summer classes. And I got 2 final exams to do. So I'm gonna get that done, get myself together. And I just thank God for peace. I thank God for clarity. I thank God for lessons. I thank God for not, taking his hand off of me, because he could have a long time ago. But, I'm just grateful for the journey. So that's my check-in, y'all. Peace.